Hi guys, yesterday I was using my Motorola GP340Ex to test the transmit and receive of a cheap Chinese radio, a QYT KT-8900D that I've reprogrammed. It's been sat on my shelf for a while, so I thought it's not going to get much use, so I might think about selling it. So we've got here the programming from the radio. I've saved this to my computer, but normally what you would do is you would read from the radio, which you use read device here on the programming software. It would come up with, it would look something like that first, and you'd go to per personality here, and then per personality -1 or whatever that just happens to be, because there should be the only item in there if you're using it on the amateur radio band. So you need to go into miscellaneous, and you need to make sure lone worker is not ticked, because it turned out the lone worker mode was actually turned on that radio, and I hadn't even noticed and forgot to turn it off. So once you've taken the tick out of that box, close that, and then you would go to write device. That would go through the motions of writing to the radio, and hopefully it won't do that again, because what happened in my case was it sounded the tone, left it a while, I'd put the radio in some kind of emergency mode and flattened the battery, and I couldn't even turn the radio off without removing the battery. So once I'd removed the battery and put the battery back in, that restored it to normal operation, but the battery was pretty much close to dead, so I effectively put the battery on to charge, and the radio should now be fine. I've still got an on-air test to do with this radio, although I have actually tried it on the air briefly when I was at Thirsk car boot sale a couple of weeks ago. I'll show you how I did that. So we're going to per channel 9. This is the setup for the GB3HJ repeater. So obviously settings on here that aren't necessary. So it's set up PL, which is Motorola's name for CTCSS. Obviously there isn't a decode one because you don't need that. It's not on a scan list or anything. It does have an option here for repeater talk around, but that's only necessary if you do want to actually talk on the output. I believe that would do, rather than on the input, which would go through the repeater. But other than that, there's the 8 to 77 simplex channels in this radio as well, so there's enough room for a couple more repeaters perhaps. And that's pretty much it. So I do need to test it on the air. So back to the main subject. So if your radio does what mine did, which was sound a tone whilst it was being left alone. So if you're going to per personality 1, miscellaneous, lone worker, take the tick out the box, close the window, write to radio. There we go. All sorted. Hope that was of some help, and I'll catch you in the next one. So 7-3 for now.